Gruff, you must be very pleased with that.
Yeah, pleased in terms of outcome and, again, our intent to play. And some of our movement was excellent at times. Notwithstanding the fact there was probably a higher turnover percentage than we'd like, albeit in slippery conditions, but we've got to try and manage that. And a pretty high penalty count against us. So we didn't really, even though I suppose we would say we put the bonus point on early and that's pleasing, we didn't, thereafter I think it disintegrated a bit, and even though we're pleased, we're slightly frustrated also.
Are you good or are they not very good?
Bit of both, truth be told. I think obviously the Blues are in a state of flux in terms of coaching, and you could see perhaps some uncertainty in things they did, but at times we made them look bad with some of where we played the game and where we did pressure them. So just focus on us. As I said, there was aspects that really stretched them, and that's been a sort of ongoing sign of the way we're trying to develop our game. So got to be pleased, again, knowing that we've probably got to go up a notch against superior opponents next week.
That's a potentially decisive game up there?
Yeah, it is. I think we've spoke about little margin for that, and especially I suppose going to the next game, in terms of fourth and fifth with their games in hand, and looking at those games as potential points in the bag for them. For us, it shows that we have probably got to go home and get a significant result. We've beaten sides consistently at the lower end of the league this year. We haven't perhaps turned over enough at the top, so we've got to make a statement next week. Yeah, definitely. And then they've come back in fine fettle and have picked up some key messages straight away as good Osprey professionals. And the dynamics within the team are people trust them and they play off them pretty willingly. And so you see a sense of energy around the team. And Ashley Beck has been a constant really over the last couple of months. We know he's had physical issues in terms of managing the season, but he's showing real glimpses and a bit of decisiveness in his game also.
Natolga is developing into a serious attacking force for you?
Yeah, I've got to be pleased because obviously it was a long transition and we probably underestimated how tough that was for him around the language and culture, but he's starting to understand where and how we want to use him and be more effective, and he does score tries. We wait an age for an Osprey hat-trick, and I think he's nailed 2 in a couple of months, so that is pleasing in terms of putting points on the board, but he's not going to have a full positive batch of feedback because our turnover rate was far too high and he's culpable for the large share of them. So, trust me that his Monday won't be all good.
Richard Hibbard, looks like you won't see him again. He's been a character for you the last decade, hasn't he?
Yeah, a talisman almost. And, whether he was coming through as a young aspiring professional or pushing Hugh Bennett for the number 2 slot, I remember their great battles, or in recent times as a senior British Lion international, whatever the circumstances, he's been a great Osprey, always wanted to put that shirt on and give of himself 100% week in, week out. And he's probably disappointed he can't eke out a little bit more for the remainder of the year, but I think he'll go down in Osprey folklore, as a lot of this group will, but I suppose him in particular for the way he manages himself and his sort of disregard for his own safety, and as I said, what he's done is fantastic for us.
Can you just clear up what the situation is in terms of he's not going to play for the Ospreys, but he would be fit for Wales. What's the likelihood? What's the situation?
Obviously, I think he needs that surgery pretty quickly, I think, for his long-term future, and we've been pretty consistent with all our players about trying to help them in that regard, and he certainly deserves that support. If he can, I don't know the timeline on it, but we're led to believe that could be pretty speedy, especially considering his recovery rates in the past and how durable he is in these aspects. So never say never in terms of our shirt. That's what I'd say with Richard. But I suppose thereafter, nationally they'll pick up on him and a new club.
So it's likely to be fit for the summer, you say?
I don't know. Is my honest answer.
Gruff, Sam Lewis had a good game tonight. Might he be a dark horse for the summer tour?
Yeah, I think he's got a fair shot. He's sort of forced our hand this year through weighted performances and just consistency. I spoke about someone like an Alan Wynne in the week being an 8 out of 10 in terms of how you rate a game. He's been similar, Sam Lewis, since he came into it. Starting off as a strong defensive player for us, but now he's developing his attacking game and fitting our pattern quite comfortably. As I said, he's forced our hand in terms of playing him and Tipuric in the same team together. And that's credit to him and his drive, energy and willingness to get better every week.
How much better do you have to be next week?
I couldn't put a number on it, you know, and I do look at numbers and stats in terms of turnover ratio, etc. But you know, I think just considerably better in terms of retaining the ball, or where we end up giving up possession, not the loose stuff we showed today. Where, you know, as I said, truth be told, a better, more dynamic side such as Glasgow would take advantage.
Drifter of any injuries tonight?
Ashley Beck's come off with a sore hip, so that's going to be an important review over the next 24, 48 hours. Obviously, considering the long-standing problems we've got there. But again, no one else has come to the forefront in terms of the medical notes we get quickly, but that obviously comes through in a bit more detail over the next day.